Let's talk about some tips and tricks for using the GFL-1500. One of the advantages of the tool is that it's very flexible in how you can trace the signal. You have the clamp meter, you have the receiver, you can send the signal from the transmitter without disconnecting things, or you can disconnect wires either by removing wires, opening fuses, opening any overcurrent protection devices. The challenge with that is that there are many different ways to do things, which can make it confusing as to where the signal's going. So one thing that I find helpful when using the tool is to think about the signal path. When I'm transmitting the signal, where could that path be going? What kind of parallel connections do I have? Thinking about that's especially important if you're finding signal throughout the array. It could also be that you have a high parasitic capacitance in the array. You might want to switch from using the receiver to the clamp meter and use bandpass mode in the clamp meter. That will filter out some of that capacitive signal that can happen in those types of systems. Another very simple thing to keep in mind is that the transmitter does not have an auto off feature. So when you're done using the tool, make sure you manually shut it off, or else it will stay on indefinitely until the battery dies. Open function is used to find breaks in circuits, so you have to isolate that circuit for it to work properly. And that function only works with the receiver, and it's really important that you switch the mode on the receiver from the one that looks like a little target to the second one down on the left that looks like a break in a circuit. So open function, you have to switch the mode on the receiver for it to work properly. When using the receiver, if you look at the top of the receiver, there's a little line in the housing. You want any wire that you're measuring signal on to be parallel to that line. When the wire goes perpendicular to the line, the signal isn't as strong. And this applies to both wiring and when you're measuring on a module. If you look at a module and you look at the string of cells in the module and how they're wired in series, you want that to be parallel with the line on the receiver as well. If you go off of parallel, you'll notice that the signal strength goes down. When you're tracing a fault in an array that's got bundles of wires, you can actually put the clamp around the entire bundle of wires, assuming that they fit within the jaw of the clamp, and see if there is signal present. When you get to a branch in the bundle of wires, you can test each of the branches and see which direction the signal goes and then continue following it down that path. And that's an easy way of tracking the signal without having to separate that bundle of wires to the pairs of conductors. Another tip for checking the signal on a module, if you're checking the signal of a module where you're near wires, you may be picking up the signal from the wire, not the module. So when checking the face of a module or in the back of a module, try to be away from any wiring so the signal doesn't get mixed. So those are some simple tips and tricks with the GFL-1500. Please watch the other series of videos for more specific details on how to use the features.